This week in the show, we're ranking our top 10 sitcoms. Stick around for cartoons, mockumentaries, and unadulterated anarchy. I'm David.
And I'm Caolan.
This is Two Men, the podcast.
Happy New Year, David.
Happy New Year, Caolan.
This comes out on the 3rd, so it is officially a new year.
New year, new me.
We recorded 2 episodes back to back, so it's been about 2 weeks since I seen you. So we're itching to jump into a podcast. Let's jump straight into this. What's your number 10 sitcom of all time, David?
My number 10 sitcom of all time, undisputably, Futurama. I think it's Matt Groening's best work. It's far better than The Simpsons because there's just so much more they can do with it because it's in space 1,000 years in the future. And the episode I've gone with is Jurassic Park, season 5, episode 2.
This is the sick dog one. Oh, not the sick dog.
The dead dog.
The dead dog.
Yeah, where he finds the fossil of his dog. It's brilliant, absolutely heartbreaking, but still so good.
This tears me up every time.
Absolutely.
And I don't even watch Futurama all that often.
Also, his dog's called Seymour Asses, which is pretty great.
My number 10 is also a cartoon. It's
an
adult cartoon that I believe you've seen called Archer.
I have seen and I love it.
My episode is the 9th episode of season 2 called Placebo Effect, and it's Archer's been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
It's about him going after the people who have been giving him fake chemotherapy tablets.
Yeah.
Archer's a show about a spy agency called ISIS, but before that ISIS came around.
Well, before
they were known around.
Yeah.
So they kind of retconned it in like season 5 to become like the Cyril Figgis agency. Archer's so good as the best like running cast of just one episode people, guest stars. Burt Reynolds comes in, Bryan Cranston comes in. Yeah, it's fantastic. Dave, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is The US Office. It's just great. I think some of the cold opens are great. You got the CPR scene. The episode I've gone with is Gossip, which is a season 6 premiere, which has the parkour cold open. And then it's the one where Stanley's cheating on his wife and Michael finds out and tells everyone. And then he starts making up gossip about everyone else. So he tells everyone that Andy's gay, and Andy starts to wonder maybe he is gay. And he tells everyone that like Jim and Pam are having a baby, and just it's just ridiculous and it's brilliant. The side characters are fantastic, like Meredith and Creed.
Creed is my favourite character in The Office.
Yeah, he's brilliant. The bit where Creed gets appointed manager.
The Office is like one of those where they don't really, it's not like with like Parks and Rec we talk about where we left it off our lists because for one they're very similar, and two they don't really rely on like an episode.
Yeah,
it's more like cold opens and scene, like the CPR scene where Creed has been stalking around at this girl all day and he's like, the parking lot, that's where I know you from.
Also another scene is when Michael falls in the koi pond and he decides to make a list of hurtful topics that people aren't allowed to talk about, and Meredith says, I've got something but I don't want to say it out loud, and he's like, okay, well write it up on the board and we'll all turn our backs and everyone pretend you don't know what she's written. And she just goes up and writes sex with a terrorist and then comes back.
Yeah, he runs Meredith down.
Yeah.
He does the Michael Scott fun run. Scott's Tots
is brilliant.
Or even any of Jim's pranks on Dwight.
Yeah, they're just so good.
The Office is like king of like scene comedy.
Yeah.
My number 9 is definitely not as good as the US Office. I went for Arrested Development. It was on Fox for 3 seasons and Netflix picked it up for 4 and 5. I think 1 to 3 are 3 of the best television. The running gags in Arrested Development top anything I've ever seen. Just from Mr. F to Seals to Michael Cera's character George Michael being in love with his cousin. It's all just consistent. I went with the 10th episode of season 3, SOBs. It's just about the Blutes are going poor. They're a rich family who lost everything, and it's about Jason Bateman character Michael trying to keep them all together, and they run a fundraiser to try and get money for the place, but it's about them trying to pitch Arrested Development to other studios. Like Ron Howard, the producer, shows up at the end and he's like, maybe it could be a movie. But they do like random, like in that episode they pick like 3 scenes and they'll randomly just go, put your 3D glasses on now, and like Michael will throw a bottle at someone, or they do the like old TV thing of they'll show all the characters on the show and be like, and one of these characters will die, and then add an old woman at the end. And she has like a heart attack later on. Oh, it's fantastic. I love it so much. The Netflix thing's weird because they like remix season 4. It's like ridiculous. But if you can just focus on how good it is for a while, it's great. Your number 8, dude.
My number 8 is Master of None, the Aziz Ansari, written and created and starring. He's basically a more grounded version of his character from Parks and Rec, which I love. The episode I've gone with is Thanksgiving, which is season 2, episode 8. Yeah, great episode. It's basically his friend Denise, and it goes through about 20 years or so of her Thanksgivings as she like comes out as lesbian. It's one of those ones that it deals with really serious issues, and it still manages to like be funny. So it deals with like immigration, racism, Me Too, and all this shit, and it still managed to be good.
They touch everybody so well. I think it's like the least talked about Netflix show that's actually good.
Yeah,
Like Netflix put out a lot of shit, so inevitably some of it's just gonna be great. But I've never met anyone talk about Master have done that much. I actually forgot I'd seen it until you mentioned it here. Aziz Ansari's fantastic. His stand-up comedy, he has one fan in the world and it's me. So I think my number 7's better though. Also my number 7's better too.
Oh, okay, right.
No, I just got mixed up. Yeah, my number 8 is the cop shows we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even add it to the intro.
We cut it out because it'd be too obvious.
Yeah, it was too obvious. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've gone with the season 5 episode The Box, which is Brooklyn Nine-Nine does a lot of things well, but one thing you don't know it does so well is the serious.
Yeah.
Like they touch on like they have like a soft touch to them that you don't really think about. Box is just Andy Samberg's character Jake Peralta with Captain Holt, and they're just interrogating this dentist. Have 24 hours before they have to let him go.
Yeah.
It's with a great cameo from
Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah. Well, it's not a cameo; it's a guest appearance. I suppose. But he's fantastic. Of This Is Us fame from me and no one else.
Yeah.
Great TV show and a fantastic episode. I think everyone's seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like everyone's like easy watch TV show. Everyone's got to it at some point.
It's so easy to watch. You
see 12 episodes go past without even noticing.
My number 7, I think, is the best show on this list, just not the best sitcom, and it's BoJack Horseman. It's another one kind of like Master of None, except even more serious. Like it's very morbid. Like even the humor is very morbid, and it's done so well that no matter how serious it gets, there is always some bit of a laugh or some bit of hope in it.
Like Mr. Peanut Butter is like the sole comic relief almost, and Todd, my favourite rendition of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood celebrities, what do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out. Fucking BoJack's fantastic. When is this season 4? Is that before Hollyhock comes in? Yeah. She comes in 5?
No, that is season 4.
That is 4.
Because that's why he puts her in the home with Hollyhock.
Because Hollyhock comes in. Hollyhock, that's another show where they talk about where you add kids. Hollyhock is like the weirdest like example of that. Hollyhock's so good. I love BoJack. We'll come back to it at some stage here now because it is on mine as well. My number 7 is Scrubs.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen Scrubs.
No, that's a critical error on your part.
Yeah.
I went with My Lunch, which is the 20th episode of season 5. The Scrubs is obviously a show, as the name suggests, about a load of doctors in Sacred Heart Hospital. And I would have picked the musical episode because it's one of the rare TV show musicals that I like. But My Lunch it's the complete opposite side of the spectrum. It's a patient that he's left the hospital not like a good while ago, not doing so well. He takes her back to get a checkup, and the whole episode is about her and 2 other patients trying to hang on pretty much. And it's the biggest gut punch I've ever had with how to save a life. For anyone that's seen it knows exactly what they're talking about. I was going to pick the finale just because it's one of the perfect TV show finales that you don't often get, really. So much so that my sister and my brother-in-law, the one thing he got to choose in the wedding was a song to play as they came in, and it was the song that plays as JD leaves the hospital in the final season, or the final scene. They have a season 9 where they like reboot it with James Franco and stuff, but we pretend that didn't happen. Just don't count that. I don't even think it should be included as a Netflix. I think on the DVD you have to buy a separate one. What's your number 6, Tim?
My number 6 is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love It's Always Sunny. It's just absolutely absurd, and this is a kind of problem I have with a lot of kind of post-2000 sitcoms, is they start off with like characters as ridiculous people, like that you never believe in the real world, but then they try to have them in like real world scenarios. But It's Always Sunny just doesn't even bother. All these characters are just awful, ridiculous people. And my favourite episode is A Very Sunny Christmas, which is season 6, episode 13. And you'll probably know it as the one where Danny DeVito gets lubed up and hides in a couch and then crawls naked out of the couch. Or sorry, I think he's wearing socks, and that's it.
He might be wearing socks, but he's just completely oiled up because of sweat.
Yeah. And also where Charlie confronts a mall Santa and says, "Santa, did you fuck my mom?" Because he found out his mother was a prostitute who had sex with mall Santas.
And this is like the most grounded episode of It's Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
This is like the least controversial stuff they touch at all. There's episodes where they get Charlie's mother to exploit cancer. They find a dumpster baby.
Oh God.
Sweet D goes out with a retarded person.
Yep.
Is the name of the title, is it? No,
That's the title.
It's a retarded person or
Yeah.
something like that. Dennis is just a complete rapey character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much stuff they go for here. There's an episode where they turn black.
Oh yeah, they do the blackface.
They do blackface. Well, they don't do blackface. They turn into... Oh, they do blackface for the Lethal Weapon episodes, yeah. But the whole cast is replaced by black actors just to show what it would be like if they were black for a day. Oh, it's ridiculous. I love Always Sunny so much. Yeah, they're just not redeemable characters at all.
Exactly.
They're just a pack of scumbags.
But it's the fact that they commit to that. I just love it.
Oh, they don't back away from that at all. And even when you think sometimes Dennis or something will do something nice, but he just turn around and completely exploit the situation.
Yeah, he's doing it for his own.
He's a golden god, and we all live in his world.
That's all I've got to say.
We're going to come back to it as well. My number 6 is going to bounce straight back to you because I picked BoJack. I just went with Free Churro as my favourite episode, which is the thing I like with sitcoms when they try and experiment with a different kind of format. Free Churro is, you talked about BoJack's mother being put in a home. Mine is about her eulogy, or well, his eulogy at her funeral. Yeah. And you talk about how much they focus on the dramatic aspects. The whole episode is just complete hard opening emotion. It's just one long monologue from Will Arnett, who is also in Arrested Development. So I'm a fan of him apparently. Yeah, yeah, he's fantastic in it, and they have one of the funniest reveals at the end of the episode that I think I've seen in ages. I was like watching it, I was gripped because it's gripping television, and then they just like you go from edgy or seat stuff to be like, I'm in tears laughing. You're looking at this. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'd hate anyone who's seen it knows what we're talking about. Yeah. And anyone who hasn't seen it, just go watch. I think it's one of those you could easily get away with just watching Free Churro if you wanted. Dave, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is one you've already talked about, an episode you've already talked about, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Box. And this is, again, I have like a kind of problem with a lot of recent sitcoms where they take characters that are already like caricatures of people and then they lean into it. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it does like the opposite. So it takes like Holt, even in the first episode, is this, like straight-laced, by the book cop, and then by the end of the first episode you find out that he's been fighting the system his entire career because he's gay, and it's just done so well. The running gags in this are brilliant. It's rare that you see so many running gags still work after 6 seasons
and counting.
Yeah, they're still going. So you've got the heists, Doug Judy, Wunsch. I love Doug Judy. Yeah, Craig Robinson, who's also in the US office, is brilliant.
So he's also fantastic in the US office as well. Yeah, what a show. We talk about what caricatures. The whole thing, not only is he gay, but he's black. Yeah. And he talks about they focus on his struggles a lot, and it's the perfect example of what we talk about, where they're just as good at being serious as they are about being funny, but they are hilarious.
They are brilliant, yeah. And
my
also,
number,
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, star of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. 3 episodes he's in. My number 5 also bounces back to you because it's Always Sunny. And I texted you earlier about the 2-parters because you went with the sofa episode. I went with Mac and Charlie Die, which is about Mac's father getting out of prison after they've said no to him smuggling stuff into prison in their anuses. They try and fake their deaths. It's my scene where Mac gets into the car and tries to drive it into a wall to let it explode and just doesn't get out of the car. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, there's nothing you can say about Always Sunny.
That's also the one where they've got the PowerPoint of their funeral with the Bon Jovi song.
Yes, yeah. It's the one where they try and report their father for he said he threatened to rape us to death or something like that, or rape their ass into oblivion or something like that. It's fantastic. What a show. Yeah, it's straight back to you. What's your number 4, Dave?
My number 4 is Gavin and Stacey. I fucking love Gavin and Stacey. James Corden post going to America versus James Corden before he went to America. 2 completely different people. The supporting cast is so funny. Pam, who's Gavin's mother, Bryn, Don and Peter, the neighbours, who I've only recently found out their second name is Sutcliffe. It's never mentioned in the show, but just in one scene she buys him a golfing hat that says Peter Sutcliffe, who of course was the Yorkshire Ripper. Yeah. Smithy and all the boys, Dino is one of my favourite characters. I think he only came in like season 3 and he was only in for a couple of episodes.
I haven't seen Dino. I've only seen the first. I don't even think I've seen all of season 2.
He's at Gavin's house with Smithy looking to do some construction work. And Pam offers him, do you want a tea or a coffee? And he's like, can I have a half and half? And she goes, what? And he goes, well, it's tea on the bottom and then coffee on the top. I like to call it a key or a toffee, but you can't ask for that in a cafe because they just gave you a key or a toffee. And it's just so funny. The American Boy rap that Smithy and Rudy do on the phone. It's brilliant stuff.
Gavin and Stacey is good.
Yeah.
I don't love it anywhere near as much as you do. But my number 4 is Modern Family, which is a show I believe you've seen the first season.
Yeah, I've seen like bits and pieces, and then I've only watched the first season like through.
Yeah, I think the way the family are written together and the chemistry they have, especially the later it gets, because they've spent 8 years together. That by the time season 9 comes around, anytime you put them in a room, and the later seasons do it all the time, you just put them in one building. There's a specific episode that I went with Connection Lost, which is an episode completely over Claire's computer.
Yeah.
And it's through FaceTime to all the other characters, and they're using maps and stuff to try and tell the story. But it's not only all on computer, but it's all in real time. So it all takes place over 22 minutes. I just think even the first couple of times I seen it, didn't even realise it was in real time. Because a lot of there's a film Searching we talked about where they do all on his computer or all through cameras. It's not all on one computer, but it's also over a couple of days. I think maybe a week. This is all just 22 minutes. But there's another episode they pick where they just put them all in a hotel, and Steve Merchant's a butler, and they just all have different interactions with him, and it's just the whole family being together is fantastic. I mentioned Hollyhock, but it's one of the only shows where you bring in kids and it improves, because for some reason they write kids really well. I don't know what that is, but because I think Luke's hilarious.
Luke is very funny.
I don't think Alex gets any better than she is in the first. Once she grows up, she kind of just like is there to be targeted by the other people as an insult. Yeah, but I love Modern Family so much. It's a difficult one because it's all on different things. I had to watch 1 to 8 on Netflix, 9 and 10 on Amazon Prime, and number 11 on Sky box sets. It was a terrible experience then.
Yeah, Modern Family's good, but I just struggle to get through it because I can't stand Ty Burrell's character and I can't stand Cam.
Yeah. And it's tough if you hate 2 of the like 6 main characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is.
But yeah, good. It is a good show. Other than those 2.
What's your third best sitcom of all time?
Third best sitcom of all time. I have Friends. I think almost every sitcom after Friends is in some way like has a bit of Friends in it. Like, and a lot of sitcoms afterwards. So like The Big Bang Theory is like it's Friends with a gimmick. So it's Friends with like science jokes. And then once people get tired of the science jokes, it's very obviously just a poor Friends knockoff. I just love it. I think all the characters work really well together, especially the ones that like don't usually. So, for example, one I have here is Rachel and Chandler have barely any stories together, but then they've got an episode together where they keep stealing their neighbour's cheesecake.
Yeah.
And they work so well together, and I think it's just done so well. And the other thing, I love a sitcom cameo, and Friends has so many good ones. They've got Bruce Willis as guy that Rachel dating, and Ross is dating his daughter. Robin Williams and Billy Crystal are in it for one scene, and it was completely improvised. They were just told, go in there and like make a scene, and it's brilliantly done. Brad Pitt, Danny DeVito is a crying stripper, Ben Stiller, Winona Ryder, Julia Roberts, Hugh Laurie, Gary Oldman, and Jeff Goldblum. Like, it's just got so many great cameos, and I just love it. And actually, I want to say that about Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. It has a couple of great cameos as well.
Absolutely.
Like, we talk about Sterling K. Brown, but J.K. Simmons had one where he comes in as Dillman, and he's brilliant. But yeah, the episode I picked was the one with the embryos, which is where Phoebe's trying to conceive.
Not debatably the best episode. Yeah.
It's brilliant. And they're playing the trivia game. Then trying to get
fight for Monica and Rachel's Pong.
Exactly, Mrs. Chenandler Bong.
The trivia contest is the best episode of Friends, and it's not close. I love Friends. Like, it's the thing we say about I was telling you this beforehand. I was like, for every other list we've done, we say like, oh, there's loads of options. For sitcoms, there's literally like 30 sitcoms that I adore. Like, it's like my favorite type of TV show.
Yeah,
because it's just so I just love sitting down to watch it. So Friends not being in my top 10 isn't much of an insult in my mind.
Yeah,
it's just not one of my ones that if I was looking for a random episode, I might pick Friends. But if I'm not going to watch something again, I'm not. I do think there's a dip in quality, but I came across a bit negative earlier on me and you spoke. But
yeah,
I'm glad I got a second chance to be honest, because I do love Friends a lot. I just don't think I think the more I watched it, the less I liked it. I have an awful problem with Phoebe, but I also don't think the show ever could work with anyone else.
Yeah,
like I do think she's perfect. It's just I think maybe the later it gets
kind of like how I don't like Ty Burrell's character in Modern Family.
And it's not even, I think, for the first 4 seasons maybe. I think until Vegas I kind of like Phoebe. I think just once they're past the London, like her London stuff is hilarious.
Oh, it's brilliant.
She's the best part of London, and she doesn't even go to London. Yeah.
Rachel just running in and out, and she's pregnant.
Rachel running in and out, I can't help it. Yeah, it's fantastic. And you're right about Friends, like being ripped off in every other sitcom.
Yeah.
Because my number 3 is just literally a Friends rip. My number 3 is How I Met Your Mother, and I went with 3 Days of Snow because we talked it like it is a Friends rip-off. It's Friends in a bar instead of a coffee shop. Kind of meant to be, I think, Friends for like
next
15 years later or whatever. Yeah. It's meant to be like Friends for the next generation, which I suppose in a way it was for me. But
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I've seen How I Met Your Mother like 10 times.
Yeah.
Just because I went through this phase of having to have something on when I was going to sleep, where I just, for some reason, just being in sound, I just couldn't get to sleep. 3 Days of Snow is like, it's the kind of episode How I Met Your Mother does where it just takes you away from the friends. Like, because if they're sitting in a bar and Barney's hitting on people, it kind of feels like Friends. Whereas once they take that away, like 3 Days of Snow is 3 separate stories. One's about Barney and Ted running McLaren's the bar for one night. One's about Marshall and Robin trying to get to the airport in the middle of a blizzard to take Lily home. And the other's about Lily flying home to try and get to the airport.
Yeah.
And it's set over like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or something like that. And it's just, it's a fantastic half hour of television. They do the Time Travelers one as well where they all sing Billy Joel. I just think it's, I don't think it's better necessarily. I don't actually think it's definitely not better than any of the ones I've covered so far. But it's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It's probably my second favourite sitcom, apart from my number one, obviously.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I just love it more than I think most people will. And I've gone on record defending the ending the more I watch it, even though I hate it. But I kind of feel like I'm being Stockholm syndromed into defending it. I defended it for ages. Don't think you're as high on How I Met Your Mother as I am.
Yeah, I never watched it like as a series, apart from the last 2 series, I think.
It's a terrible way to jump
Yeah,
in.
that's not a great way. And then the rest, I've just like seen like reruns
like an
on
episode
E4.
every so often. Yeah. There's no worse way to get into How I Met Your Mother than
watch the last 2
it's
seasons.
like trying to watch the US Office without but never seeing Michael Scott. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the ideal way to watch
Actually,
it.
I think the worst way to watch the US Office is to watch the first season of the US Office.
Oh, I don't think so.
It's so bad.
I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is.
I think
because it's only 6 episodes.
But as well as that, it's just, especially if you
Well,
see
we'll
the
get to
UK
it in a
one.
minute. We'll get to it in a minute. What's your number 2, David?
My number 2 is Atlanta, the Donald Glover kind of dramedy, and the episode I
That
went
is
with,
a stretching sitcom to the very loosest
oh,
down.
it's
I think.
funny.
It's funny.
It's
I didn't.
it's a
take it
comedy
as
drama.
Sitcom.
It's a comedy drama.
Yeah,
We said
maybe.
we're counting it.
Okay, fair enough.
And I went with the first episode just because I've never seen a TV show hit the ground running as well as it does. Donald Glover's brilliant in it. Lakeith Stanfield, who plays Darius, is so fucking funny. Like, he's just constantly just off his head. They drive over to your man's house and he's sitting in the car and he goes, and Donald Glover's dad comes out and Darius goes, I know I don't know you, but can I measure your tree? And your man just kind of looks at him like, what the fuck's going on here? And he goes, maybe later. And he just like throws like a tantrum and just gets it all in a huff and goes, maybe later just means no. And he just gets like so pissed off. And it's just so funny. And that's like, I get it's probably an argument whether it is a sitcom or not.
Oh no, I'll take it.
I think it's funny enough that it is a situational comedy. It is a comedy and they are in situations.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'll take that.
also, I just want to shout out the one that he starts trading stuff. Don Glover needs money, so he's going to sell his phone. And Darius is like, wait, you want money? You swap for this sword and I'll get you money for it. So then he swaps the sword for like a dog and then he sells the dog to a dog breeder. So yeah, you're going to have like $800 in September. And he's like, September? I need the money now. And he's like, well, you said you wanted more money. You didn't say when you wanted the money. It's so funny.
It has my favourite jail scene. Do you know when they're in like the jail waiting room or whatever at the start? Yeah. I think it's like the second episode.
Yeah, it's the second episode. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's I swear, bro, your girlfriend's a man.
yeah. So your girlfriend's a dude, man. I've only seen the first season. But it was only because when season 2 came around, I had been watching so much other stuff that I got pushed back.
The second season's brilliant. There's a psychological horror episode in the second season. Teddy Perkins.
Adore Donald Glover.
He's so good.
I'll support anything he's in. And in a surprise to absolutely anyone who's ever known us, it won't be the last time we talk about Donald Glover.
No, shockingly.
That jailhouse scene is my favourite thing ever. Is it a jailhouse or is it a hospital?
It's jail.
It's jail, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Atlanta's good. I have to get ready to finish season 2. Or to start season 2.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the US Office.
Okay, yeah.
And I went with Goodbye Michael as my episode.
Yeah.
Just because it feels like the actual finale of the show.
Yeah.
As much as I actually think it's wrapped up pretty well in the finale.
I think so, yeah.
Goodbye Michael feels like the actual finale of the show. Because once Steve Carell leaves, it kind of takes the heart with it.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot to like about it. And I think if the show comes around without Michael Scott to begin with, it would be a fine TV show. So it's just the fact that the US Office is so good that the dip in quality is massive.
If you have like 6+ hours to burn, I would highly recommend just going into YouTube and just look up The Office CPR scene and then just hit like autoplay. Because I was doing like that and I would just watch like so many just clips.
Because it'll just keep bringing you to like cold opens and
the one where Jim finds out that Michael's dating Pam's mom. so
great.
funny. And he's just like, he obviously thinks he's taking the piss. He's like, oh yeah, what car did he drive? And he goes, green Saab, and he just goes, fuck. And it's like, it's...
I did that the other day. I was just clicking through the video. I watched the one where Michael hires his nephew. No one in work knows that it's his nephew, and he like yells at him in the conference room and takes him out and just spanks him over the table. It's fantastic.
The dinner party as well.
The dinner party I was gonna put in as my episode, but
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's cringy.
It is very like,
it's like you're meant to feel uncomfortable watching the dinner party. It's a fantastic episode.
It's a brilliant episode,
but it's not the one that encapsulates what The Office is.
Yeah.
What were you hate season 1?
Yeah.
What we were talking about there.
I just think because it's literally the same lines as the UK one.
Yeah.
But just done worse.
But the thing with that is I don't like the UK one.
Oh, do you not like the UK one?
Mainly because I think I seen the US one first.
See, I saw the UK one first. Yeah. So it may just be whichever one you see
I
first.
knew there was a UK and a US one, but I knew the UK one only ran for 2 seasons and it didn't have Steve Carell.
Yeah.
So I went with that one. It's not a debate because they're two completely different. As much as they're the same show,
they're not comparable.
I think it's impossible to compare a 13-episode show and The Office runs for 20 a season for 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Apart from season 1, which is only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't think it's an even because it's obviously if you're putting the two of them against each other, the US Office is the better show.
Oh yeah,
but it's not a debate.
Yeah, you can compare them.
No, it's apples and oranges. As much as they're the exact same show at one point. Yeah, so David, I think
our number ones
are the exact same. But what I'm interested in is are our episodes the exact same?
Yeah, because I didn't exactly go for my it's Community. Let's just start with that.
Community, yeah.
I didn't exactly go with my favorite episode or the best episode because I thought that would be like I'd need to do a top 10, and even that would take me a bit
at some stage.
Eventually, yeah. But one that just sprung to mind as a great episode that I absolutely adore, and I'll watch it time and time again: Conspiracy Theories and Interior Design.
This is a great episode.
So it's basically Jeff, played by Joel McHale. They're all students at a community college, probably, and it's like it's almost a sketch show.
That's all we can tell you.
That's all.
Like,
yeah.
That's all. I hate. Me and you have recommended this show to so many people for the last 6 years, and I find it so hard to tell people what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because a community college show is true for like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's basically a sketch show,
and then it doesn't matter.
So like in Conspiracy Theories and Interior Design, is Jeff has made up class credit so he can like get it at the end of his degree, and the dean calls him out in this and says, yeah, I'm doing conspiracy theories with Professor Professorson. He's like, Professor, yeah, it's Dutch. So,
you want to go with that line?
Yeah.
Professor Professorson.
So they go out and he goes to like just like a fucking janitor's closet and he's like, yeah, this is Professor Professorson's office, and he opens it and it's like a janitor's closet, and he's like, what is going on? And he's like, this must be the test. This must be my final. And then Professor just walks out of nowhere. And he's like, well done, Jeff. You've passed. And then he just walks away. And the dean walks away. He's like, okay, Jeff, I'm sorry. And Annie, played by Alison Brie, who is brilliant.
It is fantastic.
He just turns to her and goes, I've never met that man in my life. And it just goes completely off the wall. The ending.
It just shits off the rails.
It's
like every episode.
Every episode of this. Does. Like I talked about this with It's Always Sunny, where a lot of kind of later sitcoms have tried to like put absurd characters in grounded situations, but this goes completely off the rails at every available point and just commits to it fully. It's brilliant.
It maybe for half of season 1, it's a grounded TV show, but once they hit paintball, there's no going back.
Oh, the paintball episodes are brilliant.
That's I debated in my head. I was like, American Poultry. The episodes I kind of lose the episode names, so I know what they are. The Myanmar Beans episode I thought about, the Chicken Mafia, the paintball all 3 paintball episodes.
4.
No, well, there's 1 2-parter.
Okay,
I would have counted it as 1. So
yeah.
Any of Abed's films, just any episode. Pierce's fucking Will Reading,
anything with
like that.
Oh, the Will Reading's brilliant.
The Will Reading, the Ass Crack Bandit, Law and Order SCU one. It's so good. What I did go with is Remedial Chaos Theory.
Yeah,
which is it is probably my favorite episode.
Yeah, I couldn't really fight you on that. I think it's
anyone who's here anything about Community knows what the darkest timeline is.
Yeah,
and we talk about Community going off the rails. What they do is they all go for dinner at Troy and Abed's house.
Yeah,
and they flip a coin.
Oh, they roll a dice.
Oh, they roll a dice. That's what it is. They roll a dice to see who has to go and collect the pizza from the front door. And Abed's like, well, you're creating 6 different timelines now. He's like, of course I am, Abed. And it just goes through, if the dice lands on 1, what happens? If it lands on 2, what happens?
Yeah.
And it just goes Oh, it's insane. It's all just like, what, 2-minute scenes of what would happen if it landed on this.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
It's a premise only Community gets away with.
Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of Community. It's the AC repair school where it's basically a cult. It's so funny. It's like, because it starts off as like as a Good Will Hunting ripoff, and then because they parody almost every movie.
Oh yeah, they do Dead Poet Society. The Abed's just a walking machine. They did My Dinner with Andre, Pulp Fiction.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So good. I can't recommend it enough. Season 4 is a serious dip in quality.
But even at that, it's better than most shows.
I don't think so.
Oh,
The more I rewatch it, the more I dislike season 4. But season 5 and 6 pick right back up. A lot of people don't like anything past season 4, but I think season 5 and 6...
Season 5 and 6 bring in characters that are almost as good as the main cast. Like Buzz Hickey's fantastic. Frankie's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Frankie. Keith David comes in for the last bit. That's a man who knows how to marry his cousin. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think the last 3 or 4 episodes of season 6, one of the strongest endings I've ever seen to
it's great.
To a sitcom anyway, but to a TV show. It's so good.
It's fantastic.
Like,
Even the
3 or 4 of the best episodes of the show.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great run. It's like I say earlier about shows ending well. Community ends. The last episode of Community is just them pitching an extra season.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And hopefully the movie to come.
Yeah, 6 seasons and a movie. Yeah, so we've both agreed on a number 1.
First time ever.
First time we've ever agreed.
Possibly
and
last time,
almost definitely the last time. It wasn't even a debate about this one.
Yeah.
I had a couple of honourable mentions just because it ran off a cliff trying to get them all in. I had Friends down, but you've already talked about it. I have Parks and Rec. I have The League, which is a show about a group of like 5 friends playing fantasy football.
I haven't seen this.
I can't imagine you will. Have I only seen it because I had I think it was on Netflix at one stage, but it's definitely worth a watch, David. I'd recommend it. I have The Good Place, and I'm watching New Girl at the minute, and I think when I finish it, it could easily fit in, but I couldn't put it in because I haven't finished it.
Yeah,
I think it'll easily fit in to like my 5 or 6 probably. I love it a lot. Do you have any you left off? Or?
Yeah, I had Faulty Towers. It's a classic with John Cleese. Father Ted just deserves an honorable mention. It wouldn't make my top 10, but I don't have them written down. So That 70s Show, purely for Red Foreman. I just love Red in That 70s Show. He genuinely almost got the show in the number 10 spot. But
there's a load then. There's a load we're obviously missing, like Seinfeld
absolutely.
and Cheers and stuff that I just don't think we've seen. Because
I
I started Seinfeld not so long ago, but I've only seen like 4 episodes, so I can't honestly put it in. Yeah. We had a couple of people let us know.
Oh yeah.
Abby Walls and Megan let us know that Big Bang Theory is one of them, and I just had to read that out because I think it's hilarious. That is actually an opinion that some people have in.
Yeah, in the year of our Lord 2021.
In the year 2021, people are still trying to tell me that the Big Bang Theory is worth watching. I swear up and down that I've only seen 3 episodes of Kaylee Cuoco's new show, The Flight Attendant.
I haven't seen any of it.
Remember I pitched the film to you to cover about a flight attendant who wakes up with a dead body?
Yeah.
It was actually an 8-episode miniseries.
Right.
But I will swear now that Kaylee Cuoco's best show is this, and I've only seen 3 episodes.
Not hard. She's also in... the Harley Quinn, which was nominated for Emmy, so it's probably better than Big Bang Theory.
Oh, the animated one.
Yeah.
She's also in one with, I think she's in one with Gemma Teller from Sons of Anarchy. I can't remember. Look it up while you...
Only Fools and Horses, that's my other...
Oh, Only Fools and Horses is fantastic. I actually didn't think of it as a... But yeah, I didn't even think of that, you're dead right. Yeah,
I had a couple of write-ins. Donald Johnson came in with Still Game. Andrew came in with Schitt's Creek, which I haven't seen at all.
Simple Rules is the one with Kaylee Cuoco and Gemma Teller.
Ryan came in with The US Office. Connell came in with It's Always Sunny and Community, so not bad.
Not anyone missing.
Yeah. Joycer came in with How Much Mother, Friends, The Office, Fresh Prince, and 2.5 Men before...
Fresh Prince?
Fresh Prince was one that I considered, but it just couldn't get in.
Fresh Prince, yeah.
2.5 Men before Ashton Kutcher ruined that.
Yeah, the dip is... It's like with Friends in The Office, there's a dip. But the dip with that is...
It falls off a
It's not
cliff.
even it. I think the dip from Charlie Sheen to Ashton Kutcher, it blows season 4 of Community out of the water.
Also, fucking John Cryer, which I think I've told you this, and I haven't watched it yet, but he plays fucking Lex Luthor in the CW shows.
Yes.
I really want to get back up to date with the CW shows just so I can see fucking John Cryer as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
That's all we have for our sitcoms, David, is it?
Yeah, I've got
bring a recommendation this week.
Shit,
On top of the 20 recommendations that we're already giving you.
My recommendation this week is just the trailer for Dune.
Right, yes, we've talked about Dune the last couple of days.
I finished
I have
reading
no
the book.
idea what this is.
I finished reading the book before Christmas.
This is the one coming to HBO Max, isn't it?
It's probably not. They're threatening to sue if they release it on HBO Max.
Okay, yeah, I seen all the kickoff about because Christopher Nolan went ballistic.
This is the best way I can describe it is if Star Wars and Game of Thrones had a baby, and then that baby was their dad. That's what Dune is. It's so good. The movie in '84 is terrible. I tried to watch it and it's awful. The book I finished just before Christmas and it's brilliant, and I've just watched the trailer like 60 times now because I didn't watch the trailer before I finished the book on purpose. But it is brilliant. So yeah, I guess the book Dune or the trailer. Just watch the trailer on loop.
Just the trailer of Dune.
It's so good.
I told you I've seen half the trailer.
Yeah.
Because I watched it and I was just like, I don't care.
Oh,
I also I have a thing where I won't watch trailers about things I know I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
But I don't know I'm gonna watch this, but I kind of want to go blind because I don't care to learn. So
yeah, if
I'm not gonna learn everything about it, I want to know nothing about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule.
It's like with Game of Thrones. If you're not gonna read the book, you want to go as blind as you can.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm gonna go completely AWOL with. Right, Dune the trailer.
Just the trailer for Dune. That's it. Right,
David,
so
where can these people find us?
What, you want to do the game?
Oh yeah, I didn't know you brought one.
Yeah, I brought a couple.
Let's go.
Right, so
I'm hoping to finally get one.
You got
but
two,
I got it 3 in, so.
Okay, right.
And I got the other one in the 4th, so.
17 uses of fuck, 9 uses of shit, around 1 use of damn, around 2 uses of bastard, 2 uses of...
1?
Yeah, I don't know where they got the around from. 2 uses of Jesus Christ, 1 use of cock, 1 use of prick, 1 use of wanker, 1 use of twat, 1 use of cunt, 1 use of ass.
Super bad.
No. A character mentions twice that a woman was fingered. A man is seen peeing on a machine and you see his penis for a split second.
One girl, like.
A police officer kicks an old lady in the face, causing the lady's head to have bloody impact with a car bonnet and also trips up an elder gentleman.
Was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one was someone stabs a fork in their eye. You cannot see the eyeball, but lots of blood sprays everywhere. It is revealed that the fork was stabbed into a packet of ketchup.
Yeah, the old woman on a car bonnet is is a fantastic. Hot Fuzz is deadly. I might watch that tonight. Actually,
Hot Fuzz is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I might watch that tonight. I don't have any reviews because I couldn't bring a review for 20 shows.
Yeah,
so
it would have been a bit.
It would have been a bit long in the tooth.
Yeah.
So where can the people find us to tell us that our sitcoms are correct or not?
People can find us 2 Men 1 Pod on Twitter, 2 Men and a Pod on Instagram, at 2 Men and a Pod at gmail.com, and 2 Men a Podcast at YouTube, which I just realised I haven't uploaded to in 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I think we had one subscriber on YouTube. YouTube's not our main outset.
I think we had one person watching every week. That was it.
What we did, I don't know what it is next week.
Knives Out.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
Right. Next week we're covering Knives Out.
Yes.
Starring James Bond.
Oh yeah, and Lakeith Stanfield.
And Captain America.
Oh, by Rian Johnson, the guy who butchered Star Wars. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Father from Get Out, and Michael Myers' sister. Is he not in it?
I'm pretty sure he's not.
I would have swore he was in
Bradley Whitford.
Is he not in it?
I'm pretty sure he's not.
Or is he in another film that I watched around the time of...
Michael Shannon's in it. Toni Collette.
Toni Collette, yeah. Hereditary Woman.
The girl from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, it's a good collection of them.
It's very good.
Anna de Armas. Okay.
Right, well, we'll see you next week.
Murder Mystery next week.
Yeah.
See you then.
See you next week.